and we will be talking about GST plus cryptocurrency. But before that, we want to talk about something that Rohas pointed out before the break. And Rohas Nagpal, Chief Blockchain Architect, Hybrid Finance Blockchain, is with us. So, Rohas, of course, we're talking about this new tax regime, which is going to be levied, let's say, from 1st April 2022. What should be the new strategy for those entering this new financial year?
Sure. So I would suggest that whatever cryptos you're holding on Indian exchanges, I would say immediately sell them off. And then you can always consider repurchasing them on 1st April. Because that's when the new Income Tax Act comes into force. So then you would come under the new law. So I would strongly recommend squaring off now.
So basically, even if someone is making profit in this financial year, so that's not going to affect their tax? Or let's say
what would happen is, because that new law is not yet in force, so whatever profits you're making this year, logically, they would come under the regular tax slab. But 1st April onward, they're going to come directly under 30%. That's the reason I'm recommending sell off now, square off your positions, rebuy after 1st.
Sure. And now let's get into the GST part of it, because as per a report by PTI, the government is working on classifying cryptocurrency as goods or services under the GST law so that tax can be levied on the entire value of transactions. So currently, 18% of goods and services tax is levied only on services provided by crypto exchanges and is categorized as financial services. But this 18% is only on the transaction fees, as I also mentioned earlier, and not on the entire transaction value. So, Rohas, we've spoken about the current scenario, but do you think this will discourage the investors and exchanges if this was to come a reality?
Sure. It would definitely be, and I'd like to mention briefly the Amitabh Bachchan case which has just taken place. So Amitabh Bachchan had sold NFTs worth about 7 crore rupees, and then the GST authorities told him that an 18% GST is payable on the entire value of the NFT. And then according to media reports, Amitabh Bachchan has paid more than 1 crore in GST. Now the meaning of this is all cryptos are liable to GST not only on the transaction fee but on the entire amount, because under the new law the definition of virtual digital asset applies to all cryptos including NFTs. So if NFT is liable to 18% on the full transaction, logically even crypto becomes the same. So it is possible that from 1st April, when you buy 1 lakh rupees worth of Bitcoin, you would be liable to pay 18% on the entire 1 lakh rupees.
Although there hasn't been any confirmation from government side on GST part, I believe.
That's correct. But then the Amitabh Bachchan case very clearly says that the GST authorities told him to pay 18% and he has paid it. So I think that kind of makes the position very, very scary. And I wonder what is...
We've run out of time, but a quick question. If you trade outside of the country then?
Well, in that case, most probably GST will not apply.
Okay, so definitely we would like to discuss this in detail in some other episode with you, Rohas. But that's all the time that we had for this episode. Thank you so very much for joining.